Wow. Welcome back, everybody. John Marshall, Suncoast MPI, and we're Suncoast MPI TV coming at you live. And we're just I usually have a segment to start off with myself, but we're changing it up this week because we have so many people, so many MPI members that are clamoring to get on this thing that we're like, hey, less of John, more of members. So here we go, Shawn Stevens. We're going to just jump right into the hot fire here today. And again, just if you don't know, Suncoast MPI, we're locally owned, world-class, seat-specific business networking organization with a community look and feel. Blah, 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 right?
Say that faster?
Yeah, I can say it a lot faster. Seat-specific, that's you. American Printing Services, you own the category. You're a rock star at what you do. You have a servant's heart, and you're committed to the commitment to make these chapters thrive. So I'm delighted to have you sitting across from me today, Mr. Shawn Stevens.
Good to be here, John.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Thank you.
Got a haircut and everything for this, didn't
I
you?
did.
You're looking
I told her,
good.
make it tight, make it tight.
You're looking good, brother. So this is all about you. Let's have fun with this. So let's just jump right in. As far as, let's start with your company. Who's your company? Who's this company called American Printing Services?
American Printing Services, we literally print everything out there. If you can think it up, I've got a source for it. I've been doing this for 17 years. I started with a business forms company.
Okay.
And all we did was business forms. And I tried to break out of that a little bit once I took over the company because the printing industry is forever changing, especially with the new digital world coming up. I mean,
Right.
You can literally print a car now. I don't do that. But
Not yet, maybe?
Not yet. Yeah, I'm working on that. I need a bigger garage.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've got sources in every category, and I try to get the customer. I'm not all about the lowest price. I'm about getting the best product for my customer at the most affordable value for them.
Gotcha.
So I know some customers, they're willing to pay a little bit more money, so I know I can go to this vendor over here and get a much better quality product than someone who's just looking for a quick business card off,
Yep.
and they don't want to pay anything. So
Yeah, I got it. That's great. So I appreciate you sharing that. And you've actually done work for me. So, and I know some of your work, and it's awesome. It's great quality, great turnaround.
Once it gets through my hands, I try not to hand it off to you until I know you're going to be 100% satisfied.
Yeah,
with it.
that's awesome. Well, why don't we just go down this? Let's go down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go in specifically. What are you actually offering to your customers? What can you bring to the table?
I try to make it more of a personal experience between me and the customer. There are customers I've never met. We've done just through the internet, just through email, or done a phone conversation. I've got customers in Hawaii. I had customers in Puerto Rico before the storm.
Right.
Kind of took them out. But I try to make it so that when we leave the table, you know your printing in my hands is exactly in the right hands.
Gotcha.
So the customer service thing is there. And if you look at my reviews on Google and Yelp and all that, everybody's about, his customer service. And that's all good, as long as I have that product to back up that customer service too.
There you go.
So I offer my customers my ideas. I've been doing this 17 years, like I said.
17.
So I kind of know where the marketing industry is in some aspects, and I can walk them through some things that maybe they didn't think of.
Sure.
You asked me for, I just did a coaster for a bar, and they said, well, we're not really sure what we want. Well, now you're leaving it up to me, and my imagination is wild. So I gave them 11 different versions.
Oh, wow.
One of them was absolutely ridiculous, and I actually got a lot of feedback on that because I put it up on Facebook. But the one that they went with at the end was the most simplest version of everything.
Wow.
I had a lot of fun making these things.
I bet you did.
Yeah, man, take a couple hours to sit there and just create stuff. It's awesome. And then they went with that, with number 10, which was the most basic version, and they're going to like it. They order 30,000 coasters. I'm happy. You know, they're happy, and everybody walks away. And hopefully the guys drinking at the bar, maybe they'll order more food.
There you go. Sounds like a win-win-win.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see him. That's over at Johnny Brusco's, right?
It is. Yeah,
Shout out Johnny Brusco's. We love you guys over there. So is there anything else you want to talk about? What else you offer to the customers, though? I mean, like, I know I've seen some sweet hats. You hooked me up, and you've done some killer signs for me as well.
I do signage. I've got vendors in the signage business, like actual signs, like the ones that go on the marquees, and also the light box that go above the stores, that kind of stuff. I can do that. I do shirts and hats, of course. The apparel thing, that's really blowing up. season is here, so I'm doing those event tents. We can print the whole tent,
That's
not
cool.
just that little spot on the front, but we can literally print the valance and the canopy itself, all four posts.
That's cool.
That's huge. And then, of course, you've got your business forms. I do continuous forms, snap-out forms, NCR sets. We still use carbon paper. There's still customers who want that carbon paper. As much as I try to push them away from it because it's costly now,
Yeah.
we still, it's a 5-part form, and the last 2 have carbon interleaves in there. I can do it.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I want to talk further about that 4 poster. That thing, I mean, the big old canopy.
Yeah,
that
it's huge.
4,
And the
that's
feather
awesome.
flags, all that
That's
stuff.
Awesome,
yeah, it's
man.
really pretty.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that, and for everybody to hear. And your contact information is flowing. So if people have some needs, lean in and give them a call. And I've used them before, and I'm delighted. So 17 years. 17 years you've been doing this, right? So I think that's one thing. I want to ask this because you're not the only printer in town. So how do you stand out? How do you stand out from your competitors?
A lot of printers they're niche oriented. They get into a niche and they say, I can do these business forms and that's it, or I can do some marketing materials and that's it. They're not full range. Like they won't go into apparel. They won't go into promotional products. They won't go because that's just not where they're at. So they focus on this one little thing. And I say, look, I want to be everything for your company. I want you to come to me no matter what. I will broker anything because I have those contacts.
That's perfect.
When you've been in the business long enough and you've seen all these vendors all across the United States that only deal through distributors like me,
right.
You tend to build up that clientele a bit. And,
that's awesome.
And I have that in my pocket. Not everybody can say that. You go down to Minuteman Printing and they'll be like, yeah, we can do X, Y, and Z. I'll start at A. I'll end at Z.
Right.
I'll do everything in between.
No, that's well said. If I may put maybe an exclamation point on top of it, because I have a couple businesses, right? And so as a business owner, time is precious, right? That's the last thing I want to do is kind of go, hey, I can get this one need from you. Now I got to call 3 other people to finish it all out.
Right.
It's one call, one service, and you're done.
My daughter, on my website, did this video, and she calls the superhero.
The superhero?
The printing superhero. And if you watch the video, it's like, I'm in there. They hand me something, from an admin standpoint, and then they go and run their business.
Okay.
Let me handle all your other stuff. You don't need to spend your time or waste your time, looking for all this stuff. I'm the guy. I'll get it for you. Don't worry about it.
You're not the guy. You're the printing superhero.
That's right.
I love it. That's great. So let's talk a little motivation. What truly gets you fired up? What burning desire, just things that set you on fire?
All right. I can't draw a straight line to save my life. I worked in carpentry. They fired me. I'm just not. I can't even walk a straight line. I fail sobriety tests all the time, and I'm never drunk. So I can't do anything in a straight line. You put me in front of a computer and give me an artistic challenge. Give me something that you want, to create.
Right.
And I will. I love it. I thrive on it. Those coasters. It was 9 o'clock at night, I think, when I finished them.
Right.
I didn't have dinner. I was just in the zone,
Right.
And so I really like to. I enjoy that because I am not creative at all. Music, I'm no good. I can't carry a tune if I had 2 buckets with me. So, when
awesome.
I'm done with some artwork and I look at it and I sit back and go, they're gonna like this, and then I hand that off to the customer. And they come back with, we love it. That really motivates me to go in deeper next time. Next time I'm going to say, oh, so look what else I can do.
Right.
I'll approach them with things that they might not have thought about.
Yeah.
That's my motivation, really.
That's cool.
That gets me going.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's great. So let's go to kind of stay in the same vein. How about a quote? You got a quote or two that you want to bring to the table?
My favorite quote is, I made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And this goes all the way back to high school. If anybody's watching this from my high school, you all remember the Chatham Mafia. It was a joke. It started out on a Halloween as a joke. We weren't even, doing anything, but we ended up with literally the Chatham Mafia. And me and a buddy, we kind of shared the Vito Corleone spot. And Godfather was my favorite movie. Oh. And so I carried that into my business. And, when people come to me with pricing, it's always, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
That's awesome, man.
I don't say it with the, with the
You
accent.
should,
but
man.
No,
Make me part of the printing superhero
that scares
gig.
people, because then they're thinking, I better not refuse.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, don't listen to me. So how about some goals? What do you got? Some upcoming goals? We're midway through 2019. 2020 will be here before you know it.
Well, I'm a small business, so
Sure.
I run everything myself. And I'm getting to that point where it's just so busy. There's some days where I start at 7 o'clock in the morning and I end at 9 o'clock at night. I have a home office and I have a 1-year-old.
Yep.
And, there's times during the day that I'd really love to just take a break and go spend some time with him because I can hear him in the other room,
Sure.
And my wife's been real patient with me on those days, because sometimes she needs a break.
Sure,
That's a long
absolutely.
stretch for her too. So my goal really is to grow this business to where I can have some employees, to where I can step back a little bit from handling everything,
Sure.
and I can delegate off to some of this other stuff and let them do it.
Well, yeah. Let's write those goals down and let's get it. And hopefully our Southern Coast MPI family can help you get there sooner rather than later. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So we got like a minute or so to close this thing out. Let's talk about, if you don't mind, some of your role models or mentors you've had over the years.
In the printing industry, it was my boss, Bob. He kind of took me under his wing when he first hired me, and there was a point in all that I thought I was going to be without a job. I got brazen, and I had built his website, and when I got there, everything was paper, handwritten. And so I built this website, and I said to him, look, I've opened up markets that you don't have. We were only in Florida.
Right.
I opened up California. That's 3 hours. I said, listen, put me on salary and let me handle this because I'll handle all the incoming stuff from, California and Hawaii and,
right.
Things that are out of our time zone or whatever. And he kind of took that a little differently. And so I thought I was going to be without a job, but flip it around and 2 years later, I was the only employee. I was doing everything, and he was taking me on, customer runs and doing the stuff that I told him I didn't want to do.
Right.
And he saw something, I guess, and I kind of just thought, okay, let's roll with that. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know he was grooming me to do what I'm doing. And so when he got sick and he stepped back and I was running the company, I really got to dive into it then.
That's cool.
And I thought,
That's good stuff. That's Shawn Stevens. He was the man. We have Carolyn Carter coming up next. Thank you, Shawn.
Thank you.